r/AskReddit. What is the most effective psychological trick you use? I work in an office. When people stop by my desk and refuse to leave me alone, I will get up and refill my water bottle while they are talking to me. Instead of walking back to my desk, I walk them to this. They instinctively will sit down. Then I just sever the convo and get back to work. This is actually brilliant. I have a few chatty coworkers who station themselves by my desk way past their welcome. I'll definitely have to try this out. Be sure to have spare water bottles to refill in case the one you use is already full. Yeah, and while they're talking, make eye contact while you put the full bottle away and take out an empty one. Assert your dominance, pee in the bottle while making eye contact. Well, that escalated quickly. My youngest, 4-year-old, got into the Y phase a little while back. Read an article that said the best way to get them to stop was to ask them, "I'm not sure, what do you think?" It is a godsend. They answer their own question, you provide some feedback, "Sounds good to me," and they immediately move on. My friend responded to her toddler's 7th question in an extreme, "But why chain?" with "Well, why not?" in a really happy voice. Her son looked completely mind-blown and stopped asking. To avoid workplace drama and be well liked is to just compliment people behind their back. My co-workers can get a little catty sometimes. When they're griping to me about something someone else did, I just shut it down with, "X is just so great with customer service though," or some compliment about the person they're complaining about. Works like a charm and sends the message, "I'm not going to feed into this crap, so go away." I currently manage around 240 people between 6 restaurants. It is often hard to get them to do what is needed. I have found saying, "I need your help," is sufficient to get them on board. People want to feel needed and like they are making a difference. Expressing to them as much makes all the difference in the world. Yeah, like if I'm clearing the dishwasher and my toddler is running around, throwing things into it while I work, I'll give him one of his plates, bowls, or utensils and ask him to put it away for me. He will happily do it. Even if he sees I don't have anything to give him, he'll take a stack of his bowls and hands them to me so I can give them back one by one as he puts them away. Kids are stupid but adorable a lot of the time. I work as a creative director. I have a lot of great clients, unfortunately with a few shitty managers from their side. They usually go with a mantra of, "If it's not my idea, it's not a good idea." I end up, sometimes, telling them about something Google, Tesla, Amazon, etc. is doing, and how we could try it. They jump at these ideas. The ideas are actually mine or my team's. Works like a charm. Use this sparingly. Using it as an easy escape is not a good idea. It works, but know when to use it. If you use it all the time, it won't make you look any better. It will also allow people to be promoted who aren't capable of doing the job. Much of my old jobs involved tricking my managers into thinking the best option was their idea all along. It's great for getting things done, but horrible when it comes time to compensate you appropriately for all you bring to the team. When I'm doing backcountry hiking patrol in a wilderness area, I'm supposed to keep an eye out for people with dogs, which are not allowed. The ranger taught me to ask any dog walkers, "Are you looking for somewhere to walk your dog?" That gives them the chance to pretend they didn't know about the rule. Signs posted, of course, so they don't lose face. Then I give them a brochure with dog-friendly trails. It's a brilliantly non-confrontational technique, and I use it in other parts of my life. I've found that strategy works pretty well in several situations. When someone does something obviously wrong, you mentally construct the least negative reason they might have done that. For instance, that they disobeyed the no dogs sign because they just didn't see sign, and give them the chance to take that explanation. I appreciate you giving me a ride to the middle of the desert as a thank you for testifying at your nephew's trial, but you seem to have accidentally hogtied me and thrown me into the trunk of your car instead of allowing me to sit in one of the seats. This is a fascinating exercise program, but I'm concerned about the impact digging this 6-foot deep hole might have on the desert ecology. Perhaps we could go to a gym instead? Oh no, when your gun went off I think you lost some of your bullets in my torso. Can you drive me to the hospital so I can ask a surgeon to remove them for you? Inner argument: find something to agree on, then push your main point. When you realize this, it's like a superpower. I recently read that saying "you're right" instead of "I know" makes you look less like an asshole and doesn't diminish something someone else may have just found out. I think it's pretty effective at not letting you look like a total ass. I love you. You're right. If you need to remember something, think about it while doing something noticeably unusual. This will pair the memory with the something, so that when it is noticed later on it will trigger that particular memory. Damn, this is a good idea. I'm gonna go put all my forks in the pantry, so I remember to use it. If you hand something to someone they will take it. It's a lot of fun. They're less likely to take it if it's obviously trash. You have to distract them by asking a question or engaging them in conversation. Then hand it to them when it's out of their sight. If you need to de-escalate someone and get them to communicate, asking questions about numbers/personal information. I work in emergency services. If someone is totally distraught and shut down, asking their phone number/address etc. can pull them out of the emotional place and bring them back to a headspace where they can talk about what happened more easily. I often ask these questions, even after I have the information, just to de-escalate. Hello. Is this police? I think somebody is in my house. Can you send anybody please? Calm down miss, when was your last birthday? What do you mean? Never mind, let's try something different. So, what is your phone number? When somebody shy is speaking, if you look at them and nod your head it encourages them to keep talking. I'm hard of hearing. I've spent a lot of my life nodding at my family to show I've heard and understood so they don't ask, "Did you hear that?" I do it at work, especially in meetings. I get a lot of attention from the speaker as I look like the only person actively listening. Instead of asking, "Do you have any questions?" I ask, "What questions do you have?" The first almost always results in silence, and the second lets people feel comfortable to ask questions. I always feel bad when I get it the first time and people ask me if I have questions and end up complimenting their explaining skills, so they don't think I'm just tired of talking to them. Playing dumb gets you out of a lot, but not too dumb. Never go full retard. I think it's too late for me. A few of my favorites. If you look happy to see someone every time you see them, they will eventually be happy to see you. Be nice, even to mean people. It's kinda fun see someone initially angry soften when you don't give in to anger. Don't insult people, tell them how you wish they'd behave. For example, someone is obviously rude, just say you really like when they are nice to you. They can't really call you out on it and possibly make them realize their behavior. Ask big knowing it will be dismissed, then ask for the thing you really want. There's a real term for it, open door technique or something. It's actually door in the face technique. Thanks everyone. My grandpa asked for an airplane, knowing my grandma would not be okay with it. He was a lifelong pilot, and they had smaller aircraft when my mom was a teenager. What the crafty dude really wanted was a motorcycle. She said yes, because it wasn't as expensive as a plane. Sneaky. When someone is trying to throw excuses, or generally if they are getting a bit arsy about something, often the best way to handle it is to stare back with mild interest and contribute nothing to their monologue. If you don't give them anything to work with, they'll talk themselves into a corner and lose confidence in what they are saying. I learned this trick from an old director who used to control pretty much any meeting room scenario by being the most silent and impassive person in the room. I fondly remember the time someone asked him a ridiculous question and he just stared at him for about 15 seconds. 15 seconds is a long time to be stared at in a room full of people. The guy wilted into his chair and nobody could work out if the director was angry or just quietly mulling it over. Bet that director had special pants tailored to support his massive balls. I work with a bunch of idiot lawyers and I use the phrase "you're correct" all the time. Even if it's one teeny tiny thing they are correct about, it makes them feel smart, and they instantly soften. It also keeps them listening, because they're hoping more flattery will come down the pike. I speak at conferences all over the world, and a lot of the speakers use this in their questions and answers. If there's a particularly hard question to answer, they always start with "what a great question." Generally speaking, the asker is so pleased that their question got praised by the speaker in front of all those people that they are less critical of and pay less attention to the actual answer. Thanking someone for a tray you want from them. Instead of telling a customer you're sorry for their wait, tell them thank you for your patience or understanding. Works wonders. When sending late assignments, I would always write "thank you for your patience" at the end. Don't say "it's okay" when someone apologizes. Say something like "thank you for apologizing." If someone needs to apologize to you, then it was something that isn't okay. My mom teaches this to her kindergartners and it really does make a difference. Opens doors for growth and conversation too. Thank you for apologizing. I don't like it when you hit me. Or whatever. Be direct and personal when you need things. Instead of asking if anyone has an EpiPen, ask who has an EpiPen. Instead of saying "someone call police," point to someone, say "you in the blue jacket, what's your name?" Tom. Okay Tom, go call police and come tell me when they are in the way. I did a first aid course recently and that's actually something they teach you. You can't leave a task up to a crowd, you have to single someone out for shit to get done. I don't know if this is an actual thing or not. Or maybe just distractions. But when I do something annoying or bothersome to my husband and he goes quiet, I wait a few minutes and then I ask him a seemingly innocent question, usually on the subject of how certain parts of a car works, or something mechanical. This gets him talking about the car thing, and he rambles for like 5 minutes and then bam. He's happy again and not quietly brooding. I'll never tell him I do that, because I'm afraid it won't work anymore if he knows about it. It's foolproof though, it works every single time, no matter how bothered he is. A girl I like does this to me. I know exactly what she's doing, and I fall for it every time. Whenever I know somebody is holding some truth from me, I'll look at them and stay silent, no nodding, no acknowledging, just looking. The silence usually brings out the truth or extra detail. If they squirm around a bit, you know there's something they have exaggerated, etc. People in business, and especially reporters, call this aggressive listening. I'm a professional poker player. When I'm in a pot with one other player, I often try to make them laugh when they are thinking about what to do. If you can get them to laugh, it sets them in a mood where they are unlikely to bluff. I talk a lot in general, it's very common to make jokes at the table, even in hands. Hadn't considered this. Clever. Works well because they won't figure out what you're doing either. When you are standing in a group and somebody tells a joke or something funny happens, people tend to look towards the person they like the most while laughing. Great, now I'm trying to remember the last time I stood in a group who was laughing, and who they turned toward. I used this technique at university, where I couldn't stand the thought of having to answer questions in front of a group of people. So if you find yourself in a group situation where someone, a leader, tutor, manager, is asking questions that must be answered, and you want to avoid being picked so that you don't have to talk, then here is my tip. If the person locks eyes on you as they ask the question, then just as they are about to get to the end of their question, you break eye contact and look towards another person in the room and hold it. Their attention is diverted to that other person, just as the question ends and the person they are now looking at feels compelled to answer. If however the person starts asking the question while looking at someone else, then look at that other person and hold it so you can't get suckered. Use it sparingly, because if you do it enough on the same person, they will be on to you.